Hi viewers, welcome to VVRam Techtuts. In this video, we will learn C programming functions, scope of variables. The scope is a region of the program, and the scope of a variable refers to the area of the program where the variables can be accessed from its declaration. In C, every variable defined in a scope. You can define a scope as the section or the region of the program where a variable has its existence. Moreover, that variable cannot be used or accessed beyond that region. In C programming, variables declared within a function is different from a variable declared out of the function. The variables can be declared in three places. They are we can see the how we can declare our variables in three ways. Here we can include we can inside we can write our variable inside our function or a block, then it is called a local variable. If we write our variable out of all functions, then it is called a global variable. That global variable can be accessed by all the functions including main function. Local variables will be only called by the within the function, it cannot available to the other function. That means it is applicable to only one function. Okay, in the function parameters, there will be formal parameters. Okay, let us see how it is work for us, and see the local variable. Here we have the local variables definition. A variable that are declared within the function block can be used only within the function is called a local variable. We can see the here at the local scope is that a local scope or a block is a collective program statements put in or declared within a function or block. A specific region enclosed with a curly brackets, and variables laying inside such block are termed as a local variables. And in these local scoped statements are written and enclosed within the left and right braces, curly braces. These provision for nested blocks also in C, which means there can be block or functions within the another block or a function. So it can be said that the variables that are declared within a block can be accessed with that the specific block, and all of the other blocks, inner blocks of that block, but these variables cannot be accessed outside the block. Here we have the local variable example. Okay, here we can see our local variable example, and here we include our standard input output function. After that we have the main function, and here we declared the variable, and here only and initialized within the main function. If you see, we declare our variable is integer x and y z are the integer type of the variables, and we are initialized our values. X is equal to 20 and y is equal to 30, and we give that z is equal to x plus y, and adding that using that two variables. And after that we print that x value and y value using the digital format, digit format, or integer digit format, and z value result as in the integer digital or numeric format. And here we ask to give the print our value x y z, and if the function executes successfully, it returns the value. And here our point is that our integers or the variables is declared, integer value variable are declared within the our main function. That means this, if we have another function here, the addition or subtraction function here, these values cannot be called to here. That means we cannot use these values into the other function. Such type of variables is called a local variables, cannot access by the other functions. Okay, let us execute this program, and we have that local variable program. We included the standard input output as we discussed before. That is the same program, and it is the main function, and we declare the variables within the function. So these are local variables, and we have the x value, give the x value 50 20 and y value is equal to 30, and we ask to add the two numbers x plus y, and after that we using the printf function, we ask to print x and y z values in integer format in x comma y and comma z, and if it is written successfully, we ask to return the value 0, and go to execute, click on compile or F9. We got the zero errors and the warning 0 and executable file generated. Click on run or F10. See here, we got the x value is equal to 20, y value is equal to 30, and summation is equal to 50. In this way we get the our result, and we have to think about this x y z variables which cannot be called into the other functions. Okay, let us jump into our PPT. And variables that are declared outside of a function block can be accessed inside the function is called a global variable. And global variables are defined outside a function or any specific block. In most of the cases on the top of the C program, these variables holds their value all through the end of the program, are accessible within any of the function defined in your program. Any function can access variables defined within the global scope. That means its availability stay for the entire program after being declared. Here we have the example, and for global variable we included the main standard input output function. We declared our here integer is equal to z. That means it is a global which is available to the all the functions, it available to the main function, and if you define any function other than main function, that also access the z integer type, z is equal integer type z. That means that a variable can be accessed by the globally. In this example we mostly look into the global variable, right? That means whenever we declare our integer variable out of the starting or the of our program out of the main that means out of the main function, and not inside the any function, it can be available to the all the functions. So integer z will be available to our main function, we can call into our main function. If we have other function that in that function also we can call that one. Here we have the integer main function, and also we declared the local variables x and y, x comma y values integer type were local variables, and we assign that value x is equal to 20, y is equal to 30, and we ask to z is equal to x plus y. That means we calling the global variable into the main function where z Okay, z is equal to x plus y, and we ask to print the value x value and z value, and x values and z values are within our main function. These are two are local variables, whereas the z value is the declared in the out of the main function. This is our global variable. In the, it will print the our xy local variables and global variable z, and then after it returns the value 0 if it's successfully executed. Okay, let us jump into our lab session. See here, as we discussed before, int z is a global variable, int x y z is the local variable within the main function, and we assign the values x is equal to 20, y is equal to 30, and we ask you to perform the addition z is equal to x plus y. Then after we ask you to print the value x and the y value in the numeric form. This x y is the local variables we ask you to print, and then after we ask you to print z value. Okay, in the digital form, in the numeric format. This z is the z is the global variable, so it prints the x y z values in the our output screen, and finally it returns the 0 value. Okay, go to execute, click on compile rf9. It generated the 0 errors and warnings, and generated the executable file global variable, and then after go to execute or run, click on run or F10. Then we get the output. See here, we get the output is that x value local variable and y value 30, both two local variables, as well as we call the z is equal to 50, the result from the outside of the main function. So in this way we can call our local variables and global variables. Okay, I hope this will helpful to you. Thank you. And see here, after defining the local variable, the system or compiler won't initialize any value to it. You have to initialize it by yourself. It is considered good programming practice to initialize variables before using, whereas in contrast, global variables get initialized automatically by compiler as and when defined. Here shows the based on data type and global variables defined. Here we have the integer, and the initial default value is, even though you not defined it, initialize the 0 value. The character will be initialize the default value /0, and float also defines the 0 value default to double defines the default value is 0, and pointer defines and the default value is null. Okay, in this way they initialize the default values if you not initialize the values. Thank you. We will see in the next video functions.